I'm Rabbi Asher Lopatin from Huntington Woods. I usually vote Democrat, but I'm going to be voting for Mike Rogers. And I want to start out by saying, it's a little off script, that he's an incredible man. And the number one reason to vote for him, his policies, but who he is as a character, as a person, as a caring, sensitive man, I am voting for him. On the other hand, and I'm sad to say this, that Abdul El-Sayed has made one thing very clear. We cannot let him anywhere near the U.S. Senate. Sadly, tragically, he's shown contempt for the Jewish community and, frankly, for American values by making Hassan Piker a vicious anti-Semite and racist, his campaign surrogate, and someone he buddies up with before the primary and after the primary. He's never disavowed Hassan's anti-Semitism, a man who's called Orthodox Jews like me inbred. When Abdul El-Sayed was asked about the terrorist who attempted to blow up a synagogue right here in Michigan with hundreds of children, like Thaler, hundreds of children, all he said, hurt people, hurt people. Sadly, Abdul El-Sayed has shown only contempt for Jews as a people and called my people bloodthirsty. And the reason Michigan, our great state of Michigan, doesn't have the funds it needs. So sadly, Abdul El-Sayed is completely unfit to represent any piece of Michigan. The Jewish community, the African American community, the Chaldean, or even Arab Americans. So as someone who votes Democrat usually, I am proud this time to support Mike Rogers, and I encourage everyone to do so as well. Thank you.
I've been talking to voters who were at Haley Stevens events leading into the primary or at various polling places. I was in Dearborn, in Detroit, in Birmingham, where Haley Stevens is from, and all over the place, people who are voting for Stevens were saying they do not know that they can vote for El-Sayed. They were saying that they might take a look at him, they might vote for Mike Rogers. Now, it's important, because this was such a divided primary, to note that a lot of El-Sayed voters were saying the other side of that, which is that if Stevens had won, they didn't know that they would vote. A lot of them were saying they would stay home. But this race got very deep, very personal between the two of them. And it also is about a lot of issues that people got very upset about, particularly the issue of Israel and Gaza and Palestine, where El-Sayed has been very far out there. He's posted a video that of a live stream on Sunday where he said he wanted to have a T-shirt printed saying he's the most dangerous candidate for the U.S.-Israel relationship. Obviously, there was all this AIPAC spending against him that motivated a lot of people in both directions. This is going to be really a big thing going into November.
Hi, what's up? How you doing? Today we're going to be going over, if you haven't seen it, a really funny interview between Jesse Waters and the candidate who's a communist, who's a radical communist, an Islamist, and who doesn't really want anything good for America. Because if you haven't been noticing, a lot of Democrats are like, yeah, we're not voting for this guy. We voted for Obama, we voted for Hillary, and we voted for Democrats.
You said getting rid of Sharia law was white supremacy. Let's roll the tape. Go.
I don't have to tell you that the same exact forces that drove native peoples from their land 2 centuries ago, destroyed Black Wall Street a century ago, bombed a building decades ago, and tried to ban Sharia law not a decade ago, that those forces are alive and well today.
So getting rid of Sharia law is white supremacy. Can you explain that one?
Do you know what canon law is? Jesse, I assume you're Christian, right?
Yeah, tell me.
All right, so canon law is the name for Christian law. I don't begrudge you your right to practice your faith as you choose. I don't know why the idea that I could practice my faith as I choose is a problem. Nobody is trying to push Sharia law on anyone else, just like I hope nobody is trying to push canon law on anybody else, because we live in an America where you should have the freedom of your religion. So the idea that you have somebody like Tommy Tuberville, right, who, you know, barely was good at coaching football, is out here trying to ban Sharia law when there's less than 1% of the Muslim community in America, as if somehow Muslims are out here trying to push Sharia law, that seems to me to be deliberately targeting targeting the Muslim community because they're different. And I'm just saying that, like, I have no issue with people practicing their faith. In fact, I would never want somebody to push their faith on me, and I would never want to push my faith on somebody else.
Good, because no one wants you to get rid of your religion.
And so the idea, I'm
no
just saying,
one wants that.
So, but when people preemptively go out there and start preemptively passing laws to ban something that's not happening, what you're trying to do is target a very small community because they're different. And this operates. I mean, look, I'm just going to say, there's statistical evidence that the president
Sharia
and the vice
law in
president
Michigan
like
is
to
kind of
target me
scary.
simply
people
as a
don't
function
go
of my
for
faith.
that. You know, it's like men
Nobody's
aren't
trying to push
equal
it on
from
anybody,
women.
but, like,
It's like
I just
physical
think you
punishments.
like to say the word. Look, Jesse, look,
people
you
don't like
to
that
say
in
the
Michigan.
word
I'm just saying,
because it
I don't
seems
think
really,
that's a good
really foreign
position.
and scary. Nobody's pushing it. No, but Jesse, nobody's pushing it. You know what the issue is in America, in Michigan?
What?
The issue that people are worried about is not that somehow somebody's going to come and push Sharia law on them. The issue in Michigan is people are worried about how they're going to afford their gas.
Yeah, Jesse Waters is correct. Something that the people of Michigan do care about, especially with the whole thing with Ellen Omar and Tim Walz, is, yes, they are afraid of Sharia law. Because in that place, there's a two-tier justice system. If you're a third worlder, you can give away anything, even including bye-bye, turn it off. Ask their sheriff. If you're an American, you get punished for anything, and you still get heavily taxed. And don't believe him, he will impose Sharia law. How I know? History. They did it. You are aware Iran was never an Islamist country. Iran was conquered by the Islamists. Then they imposed Sharia law. It happened in Syria too. And they're trying to do it right now with the UK and England. And yeah, he will impose it. And it's just evil. And I'm just gonna be honest. Something I hate is when non-Christians try to use Christianity as a weapon. And by the way, stop it. That's called Rules for Radicals, number 3, I think. Make them defend what they believe in. So he tried to use Christianity against Jesse Waters because he knows he's a Christian, but it's not going to work because we all know that he wants to impose Sharia law. That with Sharia law, nothing good will happen. They believe that they will start bye turning off men and women. Oh, UK, this is going to happen to you soon. Yeah. And next he's going to try to talk about and say how there's no difference between getting circumcised or going to the doctor and getting mutilated and having kids mutilate their body parts, which is just really disgusting.
And sex changes for minors. Do you support that?
Look, I remember having great conversations with my conservative friends about right to try legislation. The idea that the government shouldn't tell you what kind of health care you should have. I just think the government shouldn't tell you what kind of health care you should have. And if you're a minor, it's between
you want to
your
try
doctor
on
and your
kids?
parent. Now, if you disagree with that, if you disagree that healthcare decisions need to be made by a doctor and their parents and a patient, then we think we agree to disagree. But you want to put government inside.
So Abdul, you're a doctor, right?
Selectively. I am.
So you think it's okay for a parent to slash his kid's thing-a-ling off? You think that's okay?
I mean, do you really want to have this conversation? Are you circumcised?
Yeah, but I mean, that's a
Jesse,
personal question.
Okay,
doctor.
So you probably should want to move on.
Is circumcision's different than castration?
I think it's a problem. It's a problem that you think that you get to decide what happens between a parent, a doctor, and a patient. And I'm just saying that, yes, circumcision is surgery on a kid's ding-a-ling. So if you really want to bring that up, you can. I just think you guys are really selective about how you want to talk about these things.
Abdul, Michigan's not going for that. That is sick stuff. Boys playing in girls' sports.
I'm not advocating anything. I'm just saying.
What about that?
So the question, again, like Jesse, you have not asked me one time about the issues that people actually care about in Michigan.
And Jesse Waters is correct. It is sick. It is disgusting. He wants to make it so that kids can be mutilated, which we all know why. It would go straight to Big Pharma because they'll have a permanent piggy bank, because no matter what, all these trans people, they always need have to go to the doctor and get way too much pills too. And not only that, he doesn't want to talk about it because it is a litmus test. Because if you will lie to me and say that men can be women, I can't believe anything you say, because you'll say anything, and I'll mean anything, to get power. That's what you want. Heck, he don't believe that anyway. I mean, come on. He's an Islamist Muslim. You know how they feel about the gays. Ask the people who went to Palestine and they immediately got bye-bye turned off. Let's be honest. He just saying whatever he can to get power. But, and it's so bad because, Christ, he's so used to being... The problem with all these communists, because let's be honest, he is a communist. He's not a Democrat. He's not a socialist. He's an Islamist terrorist who would do nothing for his state. Because let's be honest, he's not going to do anything. Like, what does Ellen Omar do? What does Tim Walz do? They do nothing for their states except for higher taxes and more crime. And he's so annoyed that he's actually on a news station instead of a propagandist. And yeah, he really thinks that Michigan people don't worry about this? No. I mean, heck, in California, they made it so that the teachers will not tell their parents that their children want to change their sex change. And Californians, I think, at the moment, trying to make it legal so that they can kidnap the kids just so they can turn them trans against their will. And we're going to... Disgusting. These people are real.
So you're saying Beyonce, who just became a billionaire, she has to break you off something every year? She has to pay the politicians?
It's not me. It's the American public.
You're
Beyonce,
the one that wants the
happy
money.
To be able to contribute back to the public schools that she went to. I think she'd be happy to invest in good roads in her community. I think she'd be happy to pay a little bit more so that everybody had a little bit more.
You're reaching a little deep into the pockets,
to be defending
Abdul.
Billionaires from your channel, Jesse. That's a crazy thing. I thought you were for. I'm just saying. Look, at the end of the day, I thought you were for the everyday man. Like if you're for billionaires more than you're for every other person, well, you and I are just going to disagree.
No, I just think I have the right to the fruits of my own labor.
Well, I just caught him in a lie. Where he said it's an investment. No, you're just stealing. An investment is when you give something up and it comes back. Yeah, with communism, they're just stealing your money. Do the people in China, Cuba, and Russia, any communist country, do they ever get anything back from the government stealing their money? No. I mean, heck, think about it like this. If you live in Michigan, any blue state or any city, you pay the highest taxes, but you get the less out of it than any red state. Unlike the red states, they pay the lowest taxes, but they get the most. Think about it. Why New York is without a doubt the highest tax city in America, maybe LA, and you can't even walk outside at night anymore. It's not an investment. That just pisses me off when they lie like that. And you can see how worked up he's getting. I mean, Jesse Waters, thank you for getting him on this because it really does show this monkey's lies.
Talk about healthcare. You don't want to talk about this stupid trade war that's about to destroy Michigan's economy.
We spent the whole interview talking about that stuff.
That's destroying, that is destroying our own military. You don't seem to want to talk about any of those things. You want to bring up all this culture war that, you know, I'm not here to fight a culture war.
We talked about the war. We talked about gas prices and the Green New Deal, okay? If you want to do an interview,
I brought them up every time.
You can do the interview,
You're
okay?
asking me, like, you're doing the greatest hits, Jesse. Like, I mean, this is, like, you could play this game if you want, but, like, you can keep doing the greatest hits if you want. You told me we're going to come on for a conversation, and when we have conversations, I think that it's okay to also ask questions. I just want to understand what you're getting at here.
I'm getting at whether you think men should play in women's sports.
As the next U.S. Senator in Michigan,
it's a big issue.
I'm interested in getting money out of politics, putting money in your pocket, and passing Medicare for all.
You're filibustering,
you know, most people don't care about what sports kids play.
And you're filibustering.
I'm just
it's a big issue.
Because, like, I want
you
to
guys
talk about the issues
lost
that
on
your
that issue
viewers
last time.
Deserve to hear about.
All right, so you want to answer that question.
What issue?
You won't answer the question.
What issue? Go ahead, Jesse. What issue?
Should men play women's sports? You have daughters, right?
I think that, look, I played sports my whole life. Sports were an important part of my life. I'm grateful for the opportunity to play sports. And at the end of the day, the decision of who gets to play what sports ought to be decided by the people who govern sports. I'm running for U.S. Senate. Jesse, it's insane. I'm out here trying to take on, like, the healthcare crisis in Big Pharma, and you're asking me about who gets to play what sports. It's silly. People can't take you seriously.
It's kind of a big thing if you've been following the news recently, Abdul. Let me ask you about the politics. We'll get to your race. Let's do your race right now.
Please be serious. Like, I'm here with you. I want to have a conversation about the issues that matter.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about the things that people are actually talking about.
Okay. I am, but let's keep going. Black people in Michigan.
Well, I know you guys are talking about that, but, like, most of the country's not.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Black people in Michigan voted for this white lady you ran against by, like, 8 points over you. What happened there?
Well, Jesse, I mean, you said it yourself, right? You got to give credit to Abdul. He ran against the machine. I got outspent 11-1. That 11-1 is going to do something at the end of the day. Now, my job is to go and earn every vote. And we've been having some great conversations in the community. We'll continue to do that. And I have a lot to talk about when it comes to my work taking care of communities. I rebuilt Detroit's health department, led Wayne County's Department of Health, Human and Veteran Services, got to work alongside so many folks in the community to give kids glasses, take on corporate polluters, eliminate medical debt. I'm looking forward to continuing to have those conversations, and I feel really good about being able to bring communities together and beat Mike Rogers, who you and I both agree is a beta and won't come on your show and won't debate me in November.
Didn't agree to that, but that's funny. Reparations, do you support that?
But you laughed at it. Because you didn't say you didn't agree. Like, Jesse, you're very good at telling me when you don't agree with me, but you actually laughed at that joke because you actually agree. Sorry.
Reparations, do you support that?
I think we need to have an honest conversation about the incredible debt that was put upon black folks as a function of slavery that we have yet to pay. And I just think that's fair. Like, if people are enslaved and forced into servitude, and then we don't actually have a conversation about all that was owed, that our own country agreed was owed, I just think that it's past time to have that conversation. That shouldn't be a crazy thing. You know, I understand that, like, for folks who really want to inflame culture war, I just think it's important for us to think about how do we make sure that communities like the city of Detroit that have been segregated so that you have a disproportionate number of people as a function of redlining who are forced into certain communities, how do we make sure that their schools are made whole? I'll just tell you this, in the city of Detroit right now, they just had $700 million invested in their schools. They're still $1.7 billion behind. And a lot of folks want to say, oh, well, that's profligacy, et cetera, et cetera. No, a lot of that has to do with public policy.
Okay.
And if public policy created a level in which black folks disproportionately suffer everything from maternal mortality and infant mortality to lack of access to jobs, I think it's important for our country to have a conversation about how we make people whole.
You want to have a conversation about it because we have you on the record as backing it, but now you just want to have a conversation. I got it. I got it.
Well, I couldn't tell you exactly what. Go ahead.
Schumer. You said you basically wanted his head on a stake when you were running in the primary. You still believe that?
Well, look, me and the senator have one goal right now. It is to win Michigan. So we're looking forward to doing that. And given the fact that Mike Rogers, who you agree is a beta, is my opponent, it probably shouldn't be very hard.
Okay. I respect the fact that you
still
came
haven't
on.
opposed me. Mike, bro, talk to your guy.
I respect the fact that you came on. I don't think you've really looked into some of the policies you're pushing. You seem a little naive, Abdul. I give you credit for facing the music, but some of the stuff's just straight up wacky. You know? I don't know if that's going to fly in Michigan, but we're going to find out.
You know what's wacky?
We're going to find out.
We're going to find out. And you know what's wacky?
Yeah.
You know what's wacky, though?
Yeah.
Can I just tell you? You know you didn't ask me about?
What?
We got a president of the United States who cares more about the drapes in a ballroom that shouldn't be built than he cares about the war he just got us into, or that he cares about the affordability crisis. That seems to me to be a little bit wacky. So if we want to have a serious conversation about what Michiganders are feeling, I'd love to come back on and talk about getting money out of politics, put money in your pocket, passing Medicare for all.
Okay, we'll do it again.
I'm telling you, none of that is wacky, and that's what Michiganders want.
We'll do it again,
I look forward
Abdul.
to it, Jesse. It was a good conversation.
All right, thank you so much. Good luck in Michigan.
See, at least I don't dodge you.
No. Yeah.
Thank you.
Like 25%. Have a good night.
I'm actually surprised a monkey actually went on Fox News. Well, not really. When you think about it, I mean, come on, Fox News, it isn't any better. I mean, it's not as obvious that they're pure T propagandists like CNN, the Common News Network, or BS now, but they're not any better. But I guess, but I guess he realized, oh no, I can't do this again, which I doubt it, because let's be honest, these people, these communists, these Islamists, they're the biggest cowards they are anyone, out of anybody. They are cowards. They only do things when they think they can get 100% in control, which you can't. And I would love to see a debate with him and the other guy, but something tells me that he won't, because again, they're cowards. And the fact that, and I'm going to be honest, Jesse Waters, the fact that you didn't really snap, it really does show that you have a lot of restraint. But yeah, we have to keep this guy away. And I'm doing my thing and trying to show people, the world, yeah, he can't be trusted. He's a communist. He's evil. He wants to take away my health care, which I like my health care. Let's be honest. The people he wants to get health care to are third worlders who are not Americans. And let's be honest, the reason why blacks don't want him is simple. Here's something that I'm gonna let you all know. Islamist Muslims are more racist towards blacks than Southern whites. Well, maybe not. Well, the only other groups that beat them honestly are white liberals. Yep. It goes white liberals, then Islamics, then it's honestly standard Muslims. Because they treat us worse. How do I know that? Simple. There's two slave trades. The Atlantic one and the Ottoman one. The Ottoman one, if you were a slave, you would have your balls cut off and make it so that you couldn't breed. And that's why there are no slave descendants. Yep, they all died out. They they were just bye turning it off by the grapes they do one regular mass. And yeah, he will suppose Sharia law. He will take away your health care. The people of they're not going to get anything back from it. He's just going to take your money and just be a dictator like most third world dictators. And the reason he's doing this is simple. His voter base are getting deported, and Democrats have finally got a spine and say, yeah, no, you're not a Democrat, you're a communist. We're not voting for you. And that's good. And in this, I just have a passage that just screams everything he is. You are of your father. John 8:44. You are of your father. They're the devil. And the desire of your father you want to do. Can't say that he has turned it off, can't say the real word, YouTube, from the beginning, and does not stand in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaks a lie, he speaks from his own rhetorics, for he is a liar, and the father of it. But because I tell the truth, you do not believe me. Which of you convince me of sin? Convince me of sin, and if I tell the truth, why do you not believe me? He who is of God hears God's words. Therefore, you do not hear, because you are not of God. Thank you. This has been Navigator Podcast. Come back sooner. Have a nice day. May God be with you.